6 months had passed since the filming of Wicked had ended. The glittering atmosphere on set, the costumes, songs, and magical moments were now behind them. But what remained wasn't just beautiful memories. The relationship that had developed between Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater throughout. The film had begun to evolve in an unexpected direction. After the cameras stopped rolling, sitting in her luxurious villa in the Hollywood Hills, Ariana set down her coffee cup on the table and took a deep breath. Her eyes were staring blankly out the window, but her mind was elsewhere entirely. She startled back to reality when her phone rang. "Maya, is that you?" she asked upon hearing the familiar voice. "Yes, it's me." "How are you, sweetheart?" "You sound a bit tense to me." Maya Chen, Ariana's 10-year friend and the person she trusted most. Like a mother's intuition, she could detect even the smallest changes in Ariana's mood. "I'm okay, I suppose, just ... You know, everything's a bit complicated lately." Ariana continued to gaze into the distance from the window. "Are you talking about the situation with Ethan?" Maya's voice was careful and understanding. Ariana's silence was answer enough for Maya. "Ari, if you don't want to talk, I won't force you, but you know I'm here." "I know, Maya, I know. I don't know how to explain it. When we were on the film set, everything was so perfect. It was like a dream. We both shared the same artistic vision. We understood each other so well, ... double quotes. Ariana's voice gradually lowered. "But now it's different?" "Very different. Since the set ended, it's like he's become a completely different person. Distant, cold, constantly busy." I try to understand, but Ariana paused. Maybe I had too many expectations. Maya took a deep breath on the other end of the phone. "Sweetheart, you didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes people act differently when they're under stress. Maybe he's also trying to sort out some things in his own world. Or maybe we were just acting in the movie and I thought it was real." The disappointment in Ariana's voice was evident. At the same time. In his small but elegant apartment in Manhattan, Ethan Slater was in a similar state of mind. He sat at his piano, running his fingers over the keys, but no melody was emerging. When there was a knock at the door, he looked up. "Jake? What are you doing here?" Seeing his closest friend Jake Morrison at the door when he opened it surprised him. "I came to check on you. You've been like a ghost for the past few weeks. You don't call, you don't answer messages." "I got worried." Jake entered and looked around. "And by the looks of it, I was right. When was the last time you had a proper meal?" Ethan shrugged his shoulders. "I don't know. I don't really remember." "Ethan, buddy, what's happening to you?" "You've completely changed since Wicked ended. You used to be much more social, more ... lively." Ethan returned to the piano. "It's a complex situation, Jake, not the kind I can easily explain." "Is it about Ariana?" Ethan's fingers stopped on the keys. "Yes, no, I don't know. It's about everything." Jake approached and sat next to him. "I'm listening." When we were on set, everything felt so natural. Ariana is an amazing artist, talented, intelligent, understanding. Working together was wonderful. But then the press, the media, all this attention. And I'm not good with these things, Jake, you know. You know. I'm comfortable on stage, but cameras, paparazzi, being constantly followed. Did you let this situation affect your relationship with her? Ethan put his head in his hands. I think so. And I hate myself for it. She's a wonderful person, but I don't belong in this world. She lives under bright lights while I prefer to stay in the shadows. Well, did you tell her this? How can I tell her? Should I say, "Hey Ariana, I love you, but your lifestyle is too overwhelming for me"? Jake nodded thoughtfully. Maybe that's exactly what you need to say. Nothing gets resolved without communication. The next day, Dr. Patricia Williams' office in Beverly Hills became the place where two old friends accidentally met. Maya and Jake had both made appointments for their friends and found themselves sitting in the same waiting room trying to recognize each other. "You're Ethan's friend, aren't you?" Maya asked hesitantly. "Yes, Jake Morrison." "And you must be Ariana's close friend." "Maya, right?" "Yes, exactly. I assume you're aware of the situation." Jake smiled slightly. "Unfortunately, yes. And I'm guessing you're experiencing similar things. They're both unhappy. And unfortunately, they're not talking to each other. Maya's voice was worried. Ethan constantly blames himself. He thinks he hurt Ariana but doesn't know how to fix it. Ariana is afraid that Ethan might not want her. She's starting to think everything on the film set was just acting. Jake nodded. They're both too proud. And they're both very scared. Maya was thoughtful. What if we try to do something together? I mean, if we could bring them together and make them talk, maybe... It's risky. They might not want to be forced together. But if we don't do anything, it will definitely end. Let's at least give it a chance. At the same time, Ariana was working on new songs at a recording studio in Los Angeles. Music had always been an escape route for her, the best tool to express her emotions. But today, melodies didn't want to come. Should we take a break? The sound engineer asked. Yes, maybe that would be good. Ariana took off her headphones and left the studio dot in the corridor. When she looked at her phone, she saw a message from Maya. Dinner tonight? I want to talk about something special. Ariana replied hesitantly. Sure, where should we meet? Would your place work? It would be more intimate. When evening came, Maya arrived at Ariana's house with a bottle of wine and a secret plan. Maya, what are you thinking? Ariana sensed something from her friend's facial expression. Sit down, we need to talk, Maya said in a serious tone. I really don't like this tone. Ari, I met Ethan's friend Jake today. Ariana froze. By accident? Yes, by accident. And we talked. We talked for a long time. What did you talk about? Ariana's voice had tensed. About how unhappy you both are. About how you both miss each other but don't dare to talk. Ariana stood up. Maya, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to warn you. Ethan doesn't want to leave you. He's just scared. Scared of what? Of your world. Of the media, paparazzi. Being constantly in the spotlight. He's used to living a calmer life. Ariana slowly sat back down. So the problem is me? No, sweetheart, the problem is both of you choosing not to talk. You think he wants to leave you, and he thinks he's a burden to you? Ariana's eyes welled up. What can I do, Maya? How can I understand him? First, you need to talk to him. A real conversation. Heart-to-heart conversation. The next day, a similar scene was playing out in Manhattan. Jake was sitting in Ethan's apartment, explaining the situation. So Ariana still cares about me? The hope in Ethan's voice couldn't be hidden. Ethan, that woman is crazy about you. According to Maya, she constantly talks about you, trying to understand why you've distanced yourself. I didn't think I was distancing myself. I was just trying to give her space. What space? She doesn't want space. She wants your presence. Ethan went to the piano and played a few melancholic notes. But Jake, our worlds are so different. She's a global star with millions of fans, and I'm just someone who acts in small Broadway plays. Did this difference stop you on set? No, but back then we were living a dream. Real life is much more complex. No matter how complex real life is, if you love each other, you find a solution. But what if we can't find one? Jake stopped and looked at his friend. Then at least you would have tried. Right now, you're both just running away. When the weekend came, Maya and Jake thought it was time to put their secret plans into action. Maya told Ariana there was an opening at a small art gallery, while Jake told Ethan that an old friend was having an exhibition. Do I really have to go, Maya? I'm not really in the mood for social events, Ariana said reluctantly. Yes, you have to go. Art always does you good. And maybe you'll find new inspiration. Ethan was showing similar resistance. Jake, you know I don't like crowded places. It's a small opening. There won't be too many people. And it would be good for you to get out a bit. Sunday evening at the small art gallery in Soho, everything was going according to plan. Maya and Jake were monitoring the situation from a distance as Ariana was browsing through the gallery. She suddenly saw Ethan. Her heart raced. Her steps slowed. Ethan had also noticed her, standing frozen. This can't be a coincidence, Ariana murmured, as if lost in thought. Ethan slowly walked toward her. Ariana ... Hello. Hello, Ethan. How are you? Good. How are you? Neither of them knew what to say. I'm good too. Very busy, new projects. Yes, me too. There are a couple of offers, but the conversation was becoming increasingly artificial. Neither could say what they really wanted to say. Maybe we could talk outside? Ethan suggested, gathering his courage. Sure, good idea. They started walking in the small park outside the gallery. After walking silently for a while, Ethan stopped. Ariana, I need to apologize. Why are you apologizing? Because I left you hanging. Because I ran away when you were expecting an explanation. Ariana looked at him. I should apologize too. Maybe I put too much pressure on you. Maybe I expected too much. No, you didn't do anything wrong. I was just... Ethan paused. I was scared. Of what? Not of you. Of your world. Of the media, of being constantly followed, of having every move analyzed. Ariana nodded. I understand. That world can really be tough. But know this, I never wanted to distance myself from you. I just didn't want to hurt you. Hurt me? Ethan, you're the last person who could hurt me. Everything was so perfect on the film set, but when we returned to real life, I panicked. Ariana touched his arm. So, what do you feel now? Ethan looked into her eyes. Now, I just feel like I miss you. I missed you so much. I missed you so much too. They hugged each other, experiencing a relief they hadn't felt in a long time. So, what happens now? Ariana asked. I don't know, but we can figure it out together. If we both want it, we'll find a way. I want it. Ethan, I really want it. Me too. From a distance. Maya and Jake were watching this scene, smiling at their success. In the following weeks, Ariana and Ethan slowly began to rebuild their relationship. This time by communicating more openly, sharing their fears and expectations. You know, maybe we can find ways to reduce media attention, Ariana suggested one evening. How do you mean? We can be more private. We don't have to share everything on social media. We can have moments that are just ours. Ethan nodded thoughtfully. That makes sense. And I can try to be more comfortable in your world too. You don't have to force yourself. I'll do whatever I can for your comfort. I know. That's why I love you. These words hung in the air. They were confessing their love to each other for the first time. You just said you love me too, Ariana said with a smile. Yes, I love you very much. I started loving you long before the movie. However, although a happy ending seemed near, the outside world was still creating challenges. The media constantly questioned their relationship. Paparazzi followed them. Fans speculated on social media. Will this never end? Ethan asked one day, looking at the newspaper in his hand. It diminishes over time. When new stories come out, they forget about us. But what if they don't forget? Ariana paused. She didn't know the answer to this question herself. A month later, the couple's close friends gathered for dinner. Maya, Jake, Dr. Williams, and a few close friends. How is everything going? Dr. Williams asked. It's going well, Ariana replied. We learn something new about each other every day. And we're a little more comfortable every day, Ethan added. Jake smiled. If you had talked in the beginning, you wouldn't have suffered so much. True, but sometimes it takes time for people to talk, Maya interjected. Dr. Williams was thoughtful. What's important is that you continue to be honest now. Communication is the foundation of every relationship. As the evening progressed, the conversation deepened. Do you think we're making the right decision? Ariana suddenly asked. What do you mean? Ethan was surprised. I mean, maybe you really are from very different worlds. Maybe there's no need to force it. The table fell silent. Everyone was thinking about how to answer this unexpected question. Ariana, Maya said in a soft voice, what do you want? What do you really want? I want him, Ariana replied, looking at Ethan. But I also want what's right for him. Ethan put his hand on hers. What's right for me is you. If you want it, I'm ready to overcome any difficulty. Are you sure? I've never been this sure. But at this point in the story, a new complexity emerged. Ethan received an offer for a major role on Broadway, while Ariana got a world tour opportunity. How will this work? Ethan asked. You'll be on a world tour. I'll be in New York. Distance strains every relationship, Ariana admitted. Maybe this is a sign, Ethan said quietly. Maybe the universe is trying to tell us something. Or maybe it's testing our commitment. Neither knew what to do. Career opportunities were important, but so was their love. We need some time to make a decision, Ariana finally said. Yes, let's not be hasty. The following week, both focused on their own projects. Ariana in the recording studio, Ethan in the rehearsal room. But both were constantly thinking about each other. I don't want to stand in the way of her dreams, Ethan told Jake. How can I be sure this is right for her? Ariana asked Maya. Both friends gave similar answers. Talk to her. Him. When the weekend came, the couple met in Central Park. As autumn leaves fell around them, they discussed the future. What are you thinking? Ariana asked. I'm thinking about many things, but mostly about your happiness. Mine is about your happiness too. Maybe we can both take our chances. You go on your tour, I'll take my Broadway role. And then we'll see what happens. Ariana paused. Does this mean it's over? No, this means we're testing how strong we are. But what if we fail the test? Then at least we would have tried. And we won't have such a big regret. Ariana nodded. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is the right approach. Are you sure? No, but do we have another choice? At the end of the meeting, both parted with uncertainty. They weren't sure what would happen, but they knew their love for each other was strong. The end of the story was left open. What would happen to Ariana and Ethan in the future was uncertain. Maybe they would continue their long-distance relationship, or maybe they would go completely separate ways. The only thing they knew was that they loved each other, and this love showed itself through every difficulty in the final scene. Both were focused on their own projects, but thinking about each other. Ariana remembered Ethan when she took the stage. Ethan remembered Ariana when he rehearsed. And so this love story ended without a definitive conclusion, but with great hope. Because true love always finds a way.